Alright, welcome folks. We're going to start with a little loop. I'll see if I can get this to work. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining in. Let me pop this chat out here. If there's any issues with the audio, just let us know. Alright, hopefully this works. Now we go over to effects. Play some Eagles. Alright, just thought I'd kill the first minute or so until we get a few folks in here. Let me have a look at what's going on. Alright, welcome everybody. Lots of folks in here already. Thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. Now, is we good camera-wise? I think we're good. Petoskey Stoned, welcome. We got Jeff from Texas. Flexus is just north of Texas, I think. We got Raphael's here. Welcome, mate. DMS, how you doing? All right, cool. So we'll have a bit of a jam tonight. We'll have a bit of a Q&A, whatever. We'll go for about an hour. It's 10 p.m. here, so thought we'd, while I've still got a bit of juice left in the tank, we'll do a quick live stream. All right. Welcome, everybody. We got Greg from Chicago. Very cool. Scroll back up. John, welcome, mate. All right, we've got Joe Harvey as well. Welcome. All right, cool. So, yeah, I'm not going to play any Eagles. I sometimes play Hotel California at the jams, but I don't play very well. So, yeah, no, covers isn't really my my passion, I guess, unless you're talking blues or some classic rock stuff. I like the Eagles, but, yeah, not really my sort of... It's just really great getting... Yeah, you got to watch yourself playing songs like that on YouTube. It's just dangerous stuff. All right, we got Jamal. Welcome in. The Josh is here too. Welcome. Cool. Let us know where you're all from, guys, if you haven't already. Jason says, I like your looping pedal there. Can you recommend an inexpensive one? Just get one from Donna. That would be my suggestion, or Kalen, or yeah, either of those two brands. Donna would be the easiest one to get online, and they're fine. You don't need one with lots of stuff. You know, just get one that can do what mine just did. Just have it so you can loop up over itself, and that's all you really need. You just got to start with your volume control down, because every layer you record, everything gets louder. So you just got to be a little bit careful about that. But yeah, the Donna ones I've tried have all been good. All right, we got Krenner from, he's an Albanian in Austria. Very cool. We got Monkey Rebirth in Seoul. I like your name. That's funny. Welcome. Cool. Eagles are notorious blockers. Yeah, you got to watch that stuff. No doubt about it. So you just got to watch what you play. That's why I don't do much cover stuff. I don't really want to risk that. I just realised I was out of tune too on that little jam at the start. I think I'm a little flat here. I had the heater on in this room, so... Oh, that's a little sharp. There it is. Cool. So believe it or not, what you're hearing, if that sounded alright, was the Fender Mustang going into my camera, basically. I got an XLR adapter on there. So... You might be hearing a little bit of the speaker, but I've got it turned down because it's kind of late. So, yeah, we'll just see how the tones sound tonight. Hey, we got Cheddar Kung Power here. Welcome, mate. I'll play you an Albert King lick. Let's do it. Ah! Been listening to a bit of Albert King in the car lately as I've been driving for lunch most days. Yeah, man, Albert is the funk king. You know, I'm going to put that series together, what I got from, and Albert's up next. I think him or T-Bone will be the next ones. So I've replaced some posters. We've got a new one here. This is Rob Zombie, believe it or not, one of my favorites. His artwork and style is phenomenal. I always liked his artistic approach on everything. Like, he's a great illustrator as well. So yeah, I liked his stuff enough to put that there. We've got this one here, one of my favorite 80s movies of all time, Cobra. And over here, we now have Eric Gales, the lefty, the madman, who I've only just gotten into in the last, I don't know, 3 years or something. And John Lee Hooker is on the wall too. Someone I totally overlooked. One of my favorites of the early, before I started listening to like the Blues Heroes guys, like the ones, that do all the soloing and that. I was listening to John Lee Hooker and he soloed, but it was a very different sort of style. I always liked those little, oh, what am I doing? Here we go. I've got the tone controls off. Yeah, you got a lot of these two double note things that I've always liked. These, just super, super cool. Since the early days of the Blues Brothers. And if you ever watch the extended version of the Blues Brothers, which I highly recommend doing if you haven't seen it, I got it on DVD, you get to see the full song of John Lee jamming in the streets, man. It's super cool. Yeah, Cobra is like one of the greatest movies of all time. The 80s have got their movies have got a certain kind of freedom that you don't get now with movies. Like, they're on a whole different level. Like 80s stuff, there's no rules almost. 70s, there was a bit of rules to some extent. There was a lot of, I think the 70s is when, like, it was before my time, but a lot of the 70s movies that I've seen, they have, it's like the censorship kind of died, and then in the 80s it was like super violent, and then, after that it wasn't quite the same, but, there's some good movies in the 90s, but, yeah, the 80s is definitely my favorite, hands down. Hey, Izio Shaba, thanks, man. I appreciate that. He just did a super chat. I don't know what SEK is, but I do appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much. Yeah, Dragula. Dragula's great. I don't know how to play many of Rob Zombie's songs, actually. I don't know how to play any. I've got a couple of White Zombie riffs, but that's about it. But, thank you again, Izio. I appreciate that, mate. Hopefully I've pronounced your name correctly. We had a question up here from Krenner. He says, how does the Harley Benton DC Junior compare to your Gibson feel-wise? Don't care about the pickups, blah, blah, blah. All right, so basically this one here has a much fatter neck. That's pretty much it. Just tonally, quickly, this has a slightly fatter sound, but that's it. It's more in the size of the neck. This is a 50s profile, so the Harley Benton is a thinner profile, so it's just what you prefer the most. You can also get a Harley Benton Junior with a fatter neck now too. Thanks again, Itzio. I appreciate that, mate. Let me scroll down. More metal, yeah. Play the intro to Hear My Trainer Comin'. Are we talking about we're talking about that? I'm thinking of lyrics to that. What is it? No, I can't remember that. But yeah, no, you know what? Hendrix isn't someone I've learnt a lot of his stuff either. I know some of his licks and that, but I only really know the bog standard songs, if that's the song you're talking about. Basically, all the really easy ones. Oop, just knocked the microphone. Picked up a 2020 Affinity Tele yesterday, and they've upgraded to string through football shape output jacks and better pickups. Very cool. Thanks, Mark. I'll have to check them out, mate. Very cool. I got a HX Stomp. Do you use this or more Kemper? I've got a Kemper, but right now you're listening to the Fender Mustang. It's all pretty great plugged into directly in. I can hear a little bit out of the speaker, just enough not to annoy anybody, but yeah, or to spill too much into the microphone. But you're hearing a line out of that, basically. I'm a huge fan of the Kemper for what it does. It does extremely well. But I thought I'd mix it up and play the Mustang. It's been a while. Hey, Sonia, welcome. The Josh says the 80s was the best decade for nonsensical action movies. Love them, RoboCop. You know, RoboCop was rated only PG-13. That movie is like one of the goriest movies of all time. People forget like just how full on that movie is, man. RoboCop is crazy. How does that get a PG? Like in any place in the world, that would be like an R now or worse. There's a guy that gets, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, there's a guy that like he gets hit by a car and just splatters on the windscreen. He's like sort of, I think he's like fallen in toxic waste or something as well, just to enhance the gore. But yeah, man, I can't believe that's PG-13. That's that movie's full on. You know what I've been doing a lot of lately is watching a lot of behind the scenes movie videos on YouTube of movies that I love, and I've just been going down this rabbit hole of them. Hey, Izio, thank you, man. Just play a few. All right, I'll play you a few bars. Here we go. Jeez, I butchered that. Yeah. Always love throwing my own spin on some of these chord progressions. I'm kind of used to doing that now. Hey, stop no names. Welcome, mate. The king of the Elton John fan club himself is here. That's funny. Top loaded tele or string through. Look, it really makes no difference. I've owned both. I don't really see there to be any advantage of either. I kind of prefer the string through ones because it kind of looks better, but I don't know if it actually adds anything to the tone or not. So yeah, it's not something that I couldn't really care too much for one or the other, really, as long as it sounds good. Add a few bung notes in there so we don't get in trouble. So thank you again, Itzio, man. Far out. Metallica. What's my favorite dirt pedal these days? So I'm still using the Royal Flush dual overdrive pedal. I love it. It's on my board, which is sitting right there. I've got the Carrera overdrive on there with from Buffalo Effects. That thing is just, it's great. I'm kind of putting together a second little pedal board right now, and it's sitting on the floor as well. And that's going to have the Crazy Tube Circuits new delay pedal, which is like unbelievably good. You asked me about overdrive. So basically, the Royal Flush and the Carrera are my two sort of go-tos. If I'm playing a Strat or if I want a more off-clean tone, I usually take the Stardust from Crazy Tube Circuits. Yeah, with a Strat or a Tele, that thing sounds great. I've got a few. It just depends on my mood, man, because I still like every now and then to break out a Tube Screamer. So, you know, the Maxon Overdrive Pro is just unbelievable. Squires are all now string through, very cool. Weren't they before? Were they not string through before? Far out. I can't remember if my old one was or not. I think my classic vibe was string through, but maybe in terms of the affinities, maybe they weren't. Have I ever had any weird interactions with your fans? Yeah, sort of. Most like 99% of people are cool. So yeah, it's just you know what guitar players are like. Sometimes like they think they're better than every other guitar player in the world, even though they have nothing to show for it a lot of the time. So yeah, I've just run into people and they go, oh, you know, you should really be doing this. I'm like, mate, no worries. Thanks for the advice. But generally, it's pretty cool. It's usually pretty cool. I don't really run into that many people. Like, actually, I shouldn't say that. It does happen. Nearly most times I go into a guitar shop anywhere in the world now, I get recognized. It happened in Denmark, Sweden, the US, in Florida, San Francisco. It's weird. It's one of those things you forget. I totally forget about. I leave the house. I don't even think about YouTube. So that it's funny. You just walk into shops, and even in Melbourne, all around the place. I've walked into 7-Elevens, and people go, "Oh, you're the guitar guy." It's like, "Oh yeah, thanks, man." But no, usually people are pretty cool. There's just been a few guys that are just, you know, the kind of guys that you just sort of shake your head at. I think outside of anything guitar related, just like, man. Have I tried a Klon Centaur? I've owned a Klon KTR. I haven't tried the original one. I'm not. I'd like to try it, but I'm not in the market for one at all. There's better pedals that are far cheaper. The Shelly Ponyboy, $100, handmade. It's awesome. So, yeah, check that out. What's my thoughts on Dear Angelico guitars? You know, I really like the look of them. I'm yet to pick up a lefty. I like they're a bit blingy, but I overall like the design of them. Haven't tried a lefty anywhere. Never seen one. So we'll see. If I manage to find one at some point, I'll give it a go. But yeah, in terms of interactions with most people are pretty cool. I've never run into anybody that's sort of given me any kind of grief or whatever. Like, no. Usually they go, "Oh, I bought this because of you and I love it." I'm like, "Oh, cool." So it's I always say to people when they say that in real life, I'm like, "Mate, now you know why I sometimes don't give stuff positive reviews, because if everything's great and you buy it and it's crap, I'm going to hear about it." Go to a guitar show, people pull you up, and it's like, yeah, it's just one of those things you would think. Yeah, I like how YouTube's changed a lot. Where people are, you know, there's no, you got to be upfront about stuff. VS Audio, welcome. We're just talking about your pedals, actually. There you go. How do they go about learning blues-related theory? You know, I didn't really learn a lot of it. It's funny because I got a few people that I know that are really into theory a lot. And they go, oh, I like that. They'll say, oh, you do this thing that's really cool and it's there's a term for it. And I'm like, I have no idea. I've just worked it out. So, yeah, there's all these weird chords I've worked out over the years that are two notes that don't really have the root note in them that kind of work. And there's a term for that, but I don't really know what that is. I should probably sit down and work out the official terms for a lot of stuff. But, you know, my way of thinking was to learn the things that really sounded great to me and then kind of get it all going at one time. So that's what you got to do. You got to sit down and learn. I mean, it's good. Look, I know some theory, obviously, but I don't think about it too much when I'm playing. I'm more hearing ideas and not trying to overcomplicate it. Because once there's this weird crossover. Learning theory is great, but once you start thinking about the theory too much, it inhibits your freedom slightly too. So I know when I'm trying to learn a new lick that's out of the straight up, like, you know, straight up pentatonic, even that's enough to throw me. I'm thinking about it more. So yeah, I look at it kind of differently. I don't want to lose my freedom on the guitar. If it increases my freedom, that's good, but if I don't think about every note or anything like that. I've picked up a little bit from a lot of people over the years, I think. What was the question about the Vox? What are you? Where was it? What are your thoughts on the Vox AC412? Despite the lack of an effects loop to take pedals well. AC412. I don't know if I've tried the AC412. I've tried an AC4, but I thought it had like an 8 or a 10-inch speaker in it. Maybe I have. I can't remember. But they're good fun amps. You know, the one that I really like is the AC10. I think that's a great amp. It's loud enough if you need the volume. Maybe not loud enough for all gigs, but it sounds really, really good. This guitar, it always gets me. I overbend on it. I always complain to Rick that I'm overbending on this. There's no bridge, like tunematic bridge here, so the tension's a lot less. It takes me a while to just to get the, just to not overbend. Sonia says, I've added the Digitech Freakout to my pedal lineup. That's cool. I think I've seen a video on that actually. Very nice. Very cool. Let me scroll down. Oh, Affinities were always top load. Okay, I've tried them before. I just don't. I've never owned one. I'm pretty sure. Let me. Wow, sorry, I'm way back on the chat here. Oh, any clone or clone. So yeah, the best one that I use, well, the one that I've kept. There's plenty of great ones. The Klon KTR is awesome. There's the Wampler one's pretty good. But I've got two of the Shelly Ponyboy ones. I really think they're great. They're the best value for money one out there. For $100, you're getting a handmade pedal. I'm not affiliated with them or anything like that. It's by far the best one of its kind. It really is for the price. And they do drop tests on them, and they're built like bricks. So that would be my... Yeah, the Tumnus is another great one. I mean, I've tried one of them as well. I had one of those. I just feel like the best value for money one, like you could buy I used to have these Clone Centaur ones, and they were really good. Like my friend, Stop No Names, who's in here, Neil, he's got one of them still. They're great, but for an extra $20 now at least anyway, you could get a USA made handmade pedal. So yeah, that's probably my choice for the best Clone. Is it up there? Sometimes I leave it up there, and it's not. Hey, Graham says I actually got a GTX, but not till I waited for your review. That's awesome. I hope you're enjoying it. yeah, mine's plugged in right down here, going into my camera, and it feels great to play. You know, a couple of, what was it, about 2 weeks ago, I took it out and had to play at a friend's place with about 5 other guys, and it had more than enough tone. So yeah, and volume and all that kind of stuff. So it was good. It looks like I have something on my moustache. I get that a lot. What that is, I'll tell you a little secret. I don't know if you can see it here. I got pigment loss on my face, right? It's the Michael Jackson thing. So all through here is pigment loss. And I got some right there. So it's a big white patch. You know, when I get tanned, that whole spot on my face stays white. So that's what that is. I've seen that a lot come up in the comments lately. I'm like, no, this is grey normal. That's white. It's weird. Anyone tried a Schecter PT Special Telly? I haven't, but I tell you what, man, the Schecter stuff's looking pretty good. They're a brand that is surprising me every year. They got more lefties than any company in the world now, and they make stuff that also appeals to non-metal players. Do I do Skype lessons? I don't, man. I tried doing that for a while, but it was too hard to sort of... It's a hard thing to organize. And then my day's not always planned out like that either from what I do. Stuff just shows up. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this was turning up. And yeah, I would say probably go to some... It depends what you're looking to get out of a lesson too, but... Look, there's so much good stuff on YouTube. You can find pretty much anything you want. I don't really enjoy teaching that much either. I like concepts more than I like straight up lessons. I'm not a teacher. Dr. 808, thanks. He says, this Les Paul is awesome. I really love it. It's still, the only thing that I'm still getting used to is that overbending thing. But once I play it for a little bit... Clone going into a tube screamer. Ready? You know, I like the fact you can stack 2 overdrives. That's one thing you can't do on the old ones. So you could on the prior version, I think, do that. But yeah, it feels good to play now, which I'm digging. That's what the blues is about. Keep the theory away for the most part. Yeah, I think it's good to know a bit. Like, you want to know where the notes are, but you also don't want to get stuck playing straight pentatonics, which is what I did for too long. Way too long was play just straight minors. I really wish I had found those inspirations earlier to play outside of that. It's nothing wrong with playing straight minor. There's a time and place for it. But there's also a time and a place to do something just a little bit different. And yeah, especially like T-Bone. You know, you go listen to some T-Bone Walker or Chris Kane or Tommy, you know, all these guys. They've got a great mix of all these flavors of stuff. And yeah, I wish I had learned that more when I was younger. Because it's one thing to learn a scale. Like, a scale is not going to teach you the notes. Even if you're learning pentatonic, it's not going to teach you anything musical. It just shows you where the notes are. So you don't want to get stuck doing that. If you learn a new scale, you want to basically try and connect the dots to your hand and brain. You want to be able to hear the notes that come out of the guitar, you know, ahead of time. I remember when I was learning a lot of those, like, sort of those sort of outside notes that are in there as well. I had to hear those. Just knowing where they are isn't enough. You know, you got to be able to sort of pick them out, and that's what I could recommend. Learn the scale, but then stop and learn some riffs that work with those scales. That's definitely the way to go, because that's the musical part. There's some funny messages in the stream tonight. Someone's talking about unclogging their bathroom sink. That's hilarious. Bought some 8s yesterday. Got to try the Billy Gibbons thing. Yeah, there you go. I saw Dave Simpson do a video with those. That was pretty cool. It's not going to really change your tone. It's just the way it feels. You'll probably overbend like nobody's business. Hey, there we go. Andrew says he got a PV Red Stripe made in China because of my review. Thanks, man. They're great amps. They're really cool. Oh, man. I got to get a different... I'm going to move this mic next time. Hey Shane, are you a fan of ES style guitars, or are you more into solid body guitars? You know, I can appreciate a great ES335, and I used to play an Epiphone for years, and then I had a Gibson, then I had my Tokai for 7 years before I sold it this year. Actually, earlier this year I sold it. So I don't own one anymore, but I would love to aspire to get one that I love that sounds the way I want it to sound. I'm yet to really... Oh, my Tokai was great, but I much preferred the Les Paul. There's something... Because I'm short... they just sort of fit a bit better on me as well. It was more so that. But yeah, I would say I'm a big fan of other people playing them that are good, like Chris Kane, one of my favorite 335 players ever. Eric Clapton's 335 tone to my ears, some of his best of all time. You know, there's plenty of guys that play blues that play 335s, but you know, another guy that's been popping up a lot is Melvin Taylor. If you don't know him, look up Melvin Taylor. He looks a bit like Barack Obama, or he did. I don't know if he still does, but he's got that sort of look. He's a real thin sort of dude, short hair, monster player. Covers Stevie Ray Vaughan, he just rips. He rips, and he's like the wah pedal king. Really great. I had a poster of him at the old place, but it was a really crap poster. It was like really didn't look very good in terms of the resolution of it. I'm having trouble finding them now. Like, it took me ages to find a good one of John Lee Hooker and a few of these other guys. Buddy Guy's up there as well, by the way. I didn't mention him before. He was over on the other side, but yeah, I wanted him on this shot over here. So yeah, it's pretty much yeah, Melvin Taylor. There's a poster. Yeah, there he is there. So yeah, with the 335, he's a monster. He's got an interesting sort of voice. He's more of a talker. He's not like a traditional sort of blues singer. And neither is Robert Cray, but Robert Cray can wail. You know, he's a different singer. So I would say go check out Melvin Taylor for sure. Krenner says he can't deal with theory because it messes with his head. He just want to sit and play. Yeah, I'm not going to say don't learn theory because it's good to know some of it. It's especially good if you're in a situation where you're recording, or if someone yells out, you know, the chords by numbers. You want to kind of know a bit about where to find those. But you know, if you overcomplicate anything, it sort of takes away the fun. I'm Lefty too. Stop trying to sell me that guitar. Looks and sounds great. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate that, mate. You know, I don't mind the neck pickup, but the bridge... The neck pickup's got a bit more of a rolled out, darker sound. But yeah, the bridge is what sold me. It's funny, when I first started playing, I hated the bridge pickup on every guitar. And now I'm the other way around. I prefer the bridge pickup for any kind of solo stuff. Neck is still fun, but it's like when you want to take it to that next level. How Helps if you have the volume on. It just gives it a little bit of extra. Have I ever tried Revelation guitars? You should review them. Love your channel. Thanks, John. No. That's a Revelation guitars. Let me have a quick look. I don't think I've tried them, mate. Let's have a look here. I've got 148 people here. Far out. Welcome, everybody. That's super cool. Revelation. Let me have a look. They sound familiar for some reason. You know what? Maybe I've seen these guys at the Melbourne Guitar Show, possibly. Yeah, I'm going to say I've probably seen these before, because it sounds really familiar now I'm looking at them. I may have seen them at a local music show, but I haven't tried them. But you know, I reach out to companies from time to time, Australian ones, and they just never seem to understand the whole online thing. It's always the way. There's only a handful of them that really kind of get it. You know, I even offered like a company, a local guy. We were talking about him on one of my you know, best alternatives videos, I think it was. I said, mate, just send one in and I'll give it back. Just, you know, let me show people what these are like. Yeah, no worries. I'll be in touch. Nothing. Like, I didn't want anything out of it. I wasn't going to charge him for the video. It's just like, you're a local builder. Let me do you a favor. It just doesn't seem to work a lot of the time. I don't know what it is, but companies from overseas, man, they'll just hound you every day with stuff. It's crazy. So I don't know. They're not all bad here. I'm not saying that either, but generally I haven't had the best luck with a lot of Australian companies. The pedal companies are a different story. I always get offers for those, but yeah, there's only so many of those videos I want to make too. I'm getting really fussy. Maybe one every 3 or 4 weeks. Throw some thumbs up. Thanks, Poo Ninja. Appreciate that. Yeah, give the stream a thumbs up, guys, if you enjoyed. I appreciate that. What are we up to? How many thumbs? Probably got like 12. Let me check. We got 55. That's all right. That's pretty good. Can we get it to? If we can get it to 99, that would be amazing. All right. Let me just scroll down here to the chat. Here's a great question from Guitar Journey. Have I ever tried Rokungus guitars from Finland? I have. One of the videos that didn't make the cut, unfortunately, from Jerry's Lefty Guitars was one of those. I had nothing but audio and video sync problems the last time I was there. Anyway, long story short, I have tried one, and it was the heaviest guitar I've ever played, next to the Artist TC52, whatever it's called. But it was beautiful. But it's 10,000 US or something like that. It's still on Jerry's website. You can go check it out, jerrysleftyguitars.com. Yeah, it was awesome, but super expensive and really, really heavy. So, yeah. Stop banging the headstock. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to set up differently next time. I've already worked out the best angle. I'm going to talk to the camera this way. Can you do a review of the Heritage Artisan Aged H150? You know, I don't really know too many places in Melbourne that sell Heritage guitars. And they're the kind of company that won't send one of them out, I'm tipping. Because they're probably $4 or $5 grand. Probably done a lot of art for a lot of artists' guitars. Yeah, I'm sure they've done pretty well out of those videos. Yeah, I get emails nearly every week regarding the tweed tone or the cream tone amps or the tallies and what's the difference between the tally from them and the Harley Bensons and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of interest in artist guitar stuff. I mean, John from the chat here, he's got like 12 of them. Have I tried the Hughes and Kettner Black Spirit 200? I haven't, no. I've tried a few of their amps, maybe 2 years ago. They're way better than I thought, actually. I thought they were all aimed at, like, metalheads, but they're not. They're actually, some of them are pretty good. Lincoln says, when will I do a live jam with the Mustang and Katana? Within the next 3 weeks. The reason I haven't done it, the jams aren't open. You know, like the pubs that we go to play at and the venues, they're not open. So, or they were only for meals within a certain, you know, like you could get takeaway. That was about it. So, in the next, in 2 weeks, our local jam should open again. And I'm going to take at least one of the amps up and have a play and see how we go. I'm looking forward to trying these out in the context of a mix. I'm tell you what else I'm going to start doing is wearing earplugs live when I play. I'm going to start doing that. Did I miss a comment here from VS Audio? Says, hey Shane, all the guys here. How do you use your clon style pedal as a boost or as an overdrive? I think the clon with the preset will be more handy. Yeah, so for me, I like to use it in front of another pedal. I won't generally ever use it on its own unless it's going into like a dirty channel amp where you've already got gain. I don't think clon pedals sound nice at all on their own, and most people hate them as soon as they click it on. You go, oh, like I mean, this is the digital representation of it. Have a listen to this. This is a tube screamer. Clon. Clon sounds real nasally, but when you stack it into the overdrive, all of a sudden you get a really great tone. So yeah, I always use it to stack. Occasionally it sounds good after another pedal, which is another friend of mine uses it that way. He'll put it after his main overdrive, and it gets loud, but it sounds really cool. The good thing about the clon, you lose low end with it, which makes it great for stacking because you're not getting that flubby bottom end. Like if you have too much lows, it just gets nasty, as you know, obviously. So, yeah, as a boost, it's unbeatable. Have a listen to that. I keep going for the tone controls. Anyway, yeah, that's the way. I mean, Rick used to use it straight into a small tweed amp that was cranked, and that's another good way. But the amp was already kind of dirty. I'm yet to hear a clon sound nice, clean. You know, like through a clean amp. But yeah, let us know if you use a clon and how you use it. Any tips for getting better at vibrato? Yeah, watch the masters. Less is better as well. I would say, you know, one of the things I can't stand is that really intense vibrato on every note. Just don't do that. Just play it like play it at the tempo of the song, or come in with vibrato at the end of a note. That always sounds good. If you can already bend, you can add it to something as opposed to just going, because then your bends might sound a bit funky too. So start with it. It's finesse, I think, is the term. Like 24 Nights, Eric Clapton, Have You Ever Loved a Woman? That's kind of the inspiration for that video that I put together last week, talking about his vibrato and stuff. You know, that finesse thing is what makes all of that sound great. I mean, there's a time for that Stevie Ray sort of stuff, but, you know, a lot of what he does too is also very subtle in some ways too. So, yeah, I would say don't go overboard with it. You don't have to attack it like it's the last time you're ever going to play guitar. just make it sound smooth. And play it with a clean channel amp as well. You get it to sound good without any dirt, it should sound pretty cool. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like I think for some reason I don't just vibrato the note straight away. Yeah, there's a bit of delay there. Sometimes if I'm trying to do that, like sometimes I'll throw that in as well. But yeah, I try to play it with a bit more finesse. How am I liking the Atom Audio studio monitors? Yeah, they're pretty good. The biggest difference, and I mentioned this in the video, they're not as loud as my KRKs, but they're way more balanced. So what I mean by that is they're easier to mix on because you can hear all the frequencies, and they're pretty reminiscent of how it would sound if I took a mix from these speakers and put it in the car, for example, it would sound pretty good. The KRKs took me a long time to learn that they were underwhelming on the bass response in the room. But when I got them in the car, they were like, it was way too bassy. So I learned to pull more low end, I learned to pull more low end out of the KRKs because, yeah, they were just like in the mixing stage because I wasn't used to the way they sounded in the room. They were always way more bassy than they sounded. If that made sense, the mix wouldn't translate very well. So I would recommend these over the KRKs based on the fact that they're easier to mix on. There's a project I'm working on which has come a long way and it's still close to being finished, but I need to finish the mix down. And I'm pretty impressed when I took the mix from inside into the car with these. This is the first real project I had with these monitors and it's really good. Show us your pick. So I'm playing let me try this. Is this going to work? Well, hang on. I'm on manual focus. I'm still playing the chicken picks. One of my favorites. Still, I've had this pick since, I don't know how long now, but it's been ages. Let's see if we can go back to being in focus. No. Damn, I shouldn't have done that. Hang on. Let me just... There we go. I think that's all right. It's in focus. Cool. Six Artist Guitars. Oh, Guitar Journey. Thank you, man. Unrelated guitar question, but how often do you work out? Not as often as I used to. It's killing me. It's killing me, man. I put in nearly 3... No, I did. I put in 3 years of work. And my arms were 3.5 inches bigger than where I started. So, yeah, they're probably nowhere near like that now. I have a hard time working out at home. I think when you work from home, it's easy to get distracted. Like, I've always got something beeping at me, or it's easy to create distractions. I've been doing a couple of arm and shoulder workouts again because I know the gyms will open next Monday. But, yeah, I haven't been working out that much. The best thing I did for my exercise was to go really hard once a week on one body part. You hear people say that, and then you go, oh, yeah, I can do that. But I'm talking about 4 or 5 sets of something, like, per body part. So if you're doing chest, you're doing, flat bench, incline, or you can use the Smith machine, flies, you mix it up, add 3 or 4 different press machines in there, and go to the point where you can't do any more. Like, it's a lot harder. Give yourself a week to recover. When I started doing that, I was putting on size very quickly. So it took me a few years to work that out. You get a lot of results really quickly, and then your diet and sleep patterns, if they're not great, you don't get good results either. But yeah, it's a combination of things. It's sleep, intensity is where it's at. You can go to the gym 3 times a week and not break a sweat, or you can go to the gym twice a week and kick your own ass. And that's the difference. So yeah, I can't wait to go back. I'm just talking to my brother about it earlier, actually. Yeah, it won't take me long to go back to where I was, but yeah, it's a shame. I've been lazy with my eating because I've been lazy like everybody at the moment, just sitting around. So thank you again, Guitar Journey. I appreciate your support, mate. Thanks, Joe. Take it easy, man. Have a good weekend. Steve James says, any experience with the PRS 50 watt combo? You know, I've tried a number of the Sonzera. Yeah, you know what? I actually did a review video of it, but I never released it. And you know why? I was out of tune. I was so far out of tune. But the amp was so loud in the room, I didn't notice it. And I recorded the whole video and I edited it. I'm like, I think I'm out of tune. As I was listening back to it in editing, I was like, oh. You know what? I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. I don't really like their drive tones very much for my kind of music. And if you want a good clean tone, there's a million options out there that I would take over a PRS amp. That's just my opinion of it. You might love the sound of it, and that's what it comes down to. It's all personal choice, so don't take that the wrong way. But if I want a good clean tone, I've already got that covered. I've got a Marshall, I've got a Fender. Even these solid state amps do a nice clean. So it really doesn't. That's not enough for me to want to buy it. Now, I've played a couple of PRS amps that have okay drive channels, but I'm sorted. Like, I got pedals that do all that sort of stuff for me, or I got a Marshall, which is like the king of the dirty channel. So for me, I'm probably never going to buy a PRS amp. I wanted to love them because they look cool, but yeah, I'm yet to really find one that I go, wow, I can't live without that. And most of my friends feel the same way. Most of my guitar player friends who are sort of into the same kind of tones and stuff, we all kind of feel like they're not that good. They're just another amp. And it's a bit of a disappointment because their guitars are great. They really are. What do you think about the deep C profile and strats? I love big necks, so that for me that would be great. The tall narrow frets are great as well. They're 6105s. Very cool. Thanks again, Guitar Journey. I appreciate that, mate. Hopefully that answered your question. Yeah, I'm dying to get back to the gym. I really am. I miss it. I miss the balance. You know, there's a certain balance. Even if you're not really... Even if it doesn't look like you're putting on size or getting fit, it's like a balance thing. From sitting down, you can go do something completely different. Makes you feel good. 5 push-ups every time you leave your chair. There, that'd be a great idea. Yeah, I'll post your website. That's no problems. No, VS Audio is the man. VS Audio. Yeah, I think only the mods can post links, so I'll post it in there if no one else has done it already. Let me just do it. There we go. Shane, I need a jam for my Sunday show. Do you have anything I can use? You mean like what? You mean like a song? Or is that what you mean? Is that what you're asking? Have I had a chance to use an orange terrace stamp? Are those really small little Class D things? I've seen those. I don't think I've actually used... No, I haven't used one, but I can get my hands on one of those if you want me to do a review. That's easy. Where is a good place to set up a gig? I mean, look, you can just play it. See if you can get a gig at a pub. You know, maybe they have an afternoon that's free where you can go in and have a play or something like that. Try and invite other friends that play. Get them up. You know, get more people in the room, all that kind of thing. Oh, which amp do I usually use in my apartment? So I'm in a house now. I can make as much noise as I like. Even though this looks identical to my old place, pretty much it isn't. But yeah, I would use my Bugera V5 Infinium a lot. I would also use... what other amps did I have at that particular point in time? I also had... I had the Mustang GT for a little while, but I ended up moving that on. I also had... There was one amp that I used to have, the Fender... What was it called? It was like a little transistor radio looking thing. I had the Excelsior, and then I also had that little red one. I can't remember what it was called. So that was another amp I used to use a bit. I would always time the time when I would play loudly when no one was around. I knew my neighbors when they were gone for work, I'd make as much noise as I liked. So yeah, you just got to sort of you got to kind of time it the best way that you can. Oh, Dave, thank you, man. Hey Shane, ignoring features and versatility just based on tone and feel alone, Katana, Mustang, or the Bandit? Oh man, it's a tough question. In terms of ignoring features and versatility, I would probably say the Bandit would be the best amp out of all of them. Not maybe the latest one, but you get your hands on one of the older ones, I would say that would be the best. I would also say, just from what I can tell already, and I haven't taken them all out and played them live, the Katana's probably going to be a better live amp in terms of just overall projection of sound. But after jamming with the Mustang at low volumes the other night, I loved what I was hearing out of it. It actually shocked me. So, and I had the volume not even anywhere near up, and it was bloody loud, and it felt great to play. But if you just want simplicity, go for the Bandit. I would take it I don't know yet. Out of these two, it's tough, but I have a feeling the Katana is going to be a better amp in a live situation. The Mustang, you wouldn't buy the Mustang or the Katana if you didn't want some of those features. Let's just put it that way. Especially the Mustang. If you don't want a digital modeling amp, you don't buy a digital modeling amp. The Katana is kind of like a Bandit. It's got solid state, clean and dirty channels, and then it's got digital effects. The Bandit is just a solid state amp, straight up, and it feels good to play. So they all feel good to play, but they're all different. And you wouldn't buy one of these if you weren't after what it's capable of, stacking effects, the looper like I did earlier, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think the Bandit is a pretty hard amp to beat, just based on volume and the tones you can get out of it. They're pretty cool. But yeah, I'll know more once I actually get a chance to play them all out live, and hopefully that answered your question. But yeah, because they're all, it's hard to compare them, because even these two are very different amps to each other. They're not similar. The way that the fundamental design of the Katana is, so it's completely different to the Mustang. They're not similar in any respect like that. So they're very separate technologies, and the Boss is closer to the PV Bandit than the Mustang is. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. The Fender Greta, that was it. Thank you, Josh. Cheers. Crack open one of these. Have I tried any orange amps? Do you like them? Yeah, I did some videos with Dr. Rick on the Sky Music YouTube channel a couple of years back. We tested one that was unreal. It was like a little, I think it was a 20 or a 30 watt amp. And the drive channel was great if you like that sort of big, fat overdrive or distortion sound. But then we turned the clean channel up to 10 or close to it, and it sounded unreal. So, yeah, I would say they're way better than I gave them credit for, orange amps. And some of their reverb ones reverb tanks are beautiful. Like I played one of their, I think it's the equivalent of like a Hot Rod Deluxe. I think it was a 30 or 40 watt amp. Things sounded amazing. The clean channel was just, man, it was so good. Oh, Metalhead Hippie's looking for backing. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can send you something, man. That's cool. Sorry, I lose track of stuff. I totally forgot. Sorry, Metalhead. Just shoot me an email, mate. I don't have anything you can... oh, yeah, maybe I do. I'll have to have a look. I'll have a look a bit later. There might be something on YouTube you can just download. Oh, Jamal, what are you doing, man? Far out. Thank you. When the world gets right, I'd love to see a podcast with Dr. Rick, Ryan, and Brian. And Dom. There you go. All right, done. I was watching some of the jams, and it'd be fun to hear each of you talk shop. Yeah, that'd be fun, actually. That'd be really cool. I've been trying to hassle Dom to come over and do a podcast. I actually wanted to have Dom in to do a couple of videos at some point too, because his playing's just completely different. You know, I love it. I mean, Brian is, you know, he's a master of the electric guitar. He really is. And Ryan too, man. All these guys are great. So, Rick's crap. So Jamal, yeah, thanks, man. Look, once once the jam is back on, we'll all no doubt be there, and I'll have a chat to him and see what I can do for you. I'll give you a shout out. Thank you, mate. You don't have to be super chatting me, man. I thank you. BS Audio, I think the designs of the pedals are just as important as the sound of the pedal. They are more or just tools for guitarists, but the extension of your playing. That's why I always say simple is good. You know, any pedal that has 10 different controls and toggle switches and all this kind of stuff, if you can't turn everything to 12 o'clock and if it doesn't sound good with everything at 12 o'clock, it's crap. Or, you know, somewhere around there. Maybe 1 o'clock or 11, depending on the pedal. But yeah, anything with lots of complicated controls and switches is compensating because it's crap. They just don't sound good. I've tested so many well-known brands that have way too many controls, and they never sound as good as one that, like, that's what I loved about the Royal Flush. It's a dual overdrive, but there's no toggle switches or anything. You just turn it on. It sounds great. The Carrera Overdrive, the Maxon Overdrive Pro, the Klon, all these pedals are 3 controls, maybe a 4th. You know, I've got a pile of overdrives sitting on the floor over here that... I just much prefer simple stuff. I don't want to be fiddling around. Like my friend Brian's got a dual fusion pedal. We did a festival, and it's got this kill switch on it. It's the worst design. Like, great sounding pedal, but if it's got 2 signal chains, so you go in, you can either go in one way, one of 2 ways, and out one of 2 ways. So he's playing along, and he's got signal, and he clicks on the pedal, and it cuts his signal chain completely. He spent 4 songs trying to work out why he had no sound. And then he flicked this switch and it came back on. It's like, oh, what a stupid design. Like, I don't know, man. There's pedals out there that make me shake my head. Like, does it need, like, Chase Bliss Audio? I borrowed one of those pedals for a review, and it had like 10 different potentiometers on the front, like controls. I looked at it and I went, nah, it's going back in the box. I'm sure they make great stuff, right? This is just me being like overly critical. If I'm going to do a gig and I've got a pedal that has 10 pots I can turn and all these toggle switches, and something doesn't sound right, how are you supposed to remember roughly where you want it set? That's my logical thinking. If you're playing at home, it doesn't matter, right? You can get one with 15 controls on it, but anything that's got too many controls, and if it doesn't sound good straight away, it won't sound good, in my opinion. So thanks again, Jamal. I appreciate that, mate. I'll see what I can do for you. Absolutely. Oh, Mark, thank you, mate. Far out. Totally agree. The Katana is an amazing amp. Yeah, it is a solid state amp, you know, so it has that advantage with pedals and all that kind of stuff. You know, I always say for people who want to just play at home and don't own any effects and just want something they can just use, the Mustang's a better option. But the Katana, I mean, the Katana's pretty good at home too. You do have the power switch that you can sort of bring it down on, but yeah, different amps for different people. I did a comparison explaining the difference between them both. They both got their advantages for different use cases. That's pretty much how I see it. You know, I did a test with the PV I had with when the Blues Cube came out from Roland. You know, their new solid state amp that was supposed to be the replacement for, you know, everything else. The Bandit's like $200. Sounded great. Yeah, it did everything I needed it to do. So there was no reason for me to spend 1,200 Australian dollars on the Blues Cube because it wasn't any better than the Bandit. It looked better than the Bandit, though. I'll give it that. To quote Craig Ruddle, 50,000 knobs that do nothing. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I just think pedals don't need to be too complicated. You'll set it up one way and you'll want to forget about it. And that's the thing. If you knock a pedal that's got 10 different pots in your gig bag, or if it's in your, you know, you put your pedals in a case, take it to a gig, and then that one that's got 10 is completely all over the place, yeah, good luck. You know, you'll have to take a photo of it basically to get it back to where you want it. So, yeah, look at this. that's my board. So this is the Chikalis Audio Work Tillet delay pedal. 3 main controls, and it's either analog or tape delay. Pretty simple. Dual overdrive pedal with 3 controls on each side. This is great. So VS Audio, you got to get yourself one of these and come up with something very similar. It is it's a beast. This is the best alternative to a Maxon Overdrive Pro I've ever heard. It's probably more versatile because it's like a full range tube screamer with a 2-band EQ, but it's kind of better than a tube screamer. And between these two, I've not had any pedal combination stack better, in my opinion, than these two together. It is just, it's insanely great. Now, occasionally I'll replace this one. I might put a clone on there, or I'll put something else on there. But that's pretty much it right now. All my stuff is very simple. This is like a vibratone style pedal, vibrato pedal, and it's three controls. That's it. It's like, that's all you need. If I had one with 10, it'd be a nightmare. But I'm going to try this live coming up as well. This is one I want to give a good shot of. I actually really enjoyed the 61 mode. I like that Fender black face, brown face kind of amp crank tone. I put this video up the other day. It's pretty cool. So I want to give this a shot. I think this will stack well as well. Mate, the Greeks, they got it sorted out. They make great stuff. Sonia says, oh, thanks, Sonia. Says, Stephen Jeffries asked, what do you think about Gretsch Electromatic line of guitars? Fellow lefty interested in the Georgette. Yeah, they're good. You know, I don't like their larger guitars for me personally. I mean, I like them. Like, I think the Gretsch guitars are beautiful and they look amazing, but for me, they're too big. Like, I feel like I've got my arm out here trying to play them. So those sort of thinner archtop guitars are great. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I've only played a handful of them, so I think maybe 2 or 3 several years ago. I can get my hands on a few of those for, maybe I should do some updated reviews. I'll see what I can do. Can you suggest a good, cheap lefty bass sub $800? You know, I would say go for an Ibanez. I've also got a Harley Benton back here, which sounds great. Actually, it's really cool. But Ibanez sound gears are really good. You can usually find them for an absolute bargain. Depends where $800 is too. But in Australia, yeah, you can buy quite a lot of different bass guitars for that. You can almost buy like the made in Mexico Fender P or Jazz bass for that price too. Yeah, the new Xcerebit, see, that's another pedal that's great. That is, you know, I went through a phase where I was using that for a lot of videos. They're really good. Do I still use the X Drive? I don't have it anymore, mate. I think I either sold it or I gave it away. I can't remember. It was one of those times where I had like a lot of overdrives coming and going. I was buying lots of stuff. The X Drive is killer. It's easily as good as any tube screamer out there that I've ever used or Maxon OD820. Very cool. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Most of the Bayang that range, the Bayang range of pedals were really good. I don't know if they make them anymore, actually. Johnny G says, hey Shane, waking up here in California? Cool. Welcome, mate. Hey, we've got 120 thumbs up. Far out. Thank you, everybody. The goal was 99. So everybody unthumb the... No. I'm only kidding. Love the updated review on the Gretsch. Yeah, I can definitely get those from Sky Music, so I'll see what I can do. They got lots of lefties, I'm pretty sure. They got a couple of thinner ones. They got the Les Paul style ones as well, which I reviewed maybe 2 years ago. They got the White Falcons and the Country Gentlemen's and all that kind of stuff. So let me see what I can do. I'll see if I can borrow some. Have I played the Victory V40 Duchess? I have. Yeah, I've said this before about Victory amps. They're very bright. It's not everybody's kind of sound. They're a bit, I'm not going to say they're like a Vox because they're a fatter sound than the Vox, but there's a brightness to them that's hard to dial out. If you don't like that sound, it's pretty tough. But you get a nice steely tone with it, especially for single coil pickups. I think that's where they shine. I played a 20 watt one at a jam once, and it was with a 335 with no pedals, and it was awesome. So yeah, you got to sort of pick the right guitar for those amps. My good friend Brian, he was going to buy one of those, and we played it through a 2x12 cabinet with the 40 watt Duchess, I think it was actually the white one, and it was too bright, like it was killing us in the room. Just like, we turned the presence or treble back, and it always had this overtone that was hard to dial out. But I think for the right style of player, and they take pedals well, so you can kind of fix some of the problems with not problems, but you can fix some of the voicing if it's not to your flavor, not to your taste or whatever. But yeah, they're not an amp I would buy personally, but I've heard them sound great, and I've heard them sound not very nice. So yeah, it's probably just about learning them and getting them for the right player. They're going to be great. I know it's a pretty bad synopsis, but that's what it comes down to. Hey, there we go. I have a Bayang tube distortion pedal in new condition. Very cool. Yeah, they make good stuff. Like, yeah, those, man, that was a long time ago when I did those videos. I don't know how long ago it was. What would you recommend? What would be your recommendation for a budget delay pedal around €100? I've heard a few like the Boss DD3 or Fender Mirror Image. Thoughts? Yeah, the Boss is great. You know, €100, probably, what's that, $230 or something. So yeah, try the Wazacraft delay that they make from Boss. That's a killer pedal. It's really good. It's the purple one, the DMW3 2. That's my friend in the chat here has got one of those. They're really, really good. I highly recommend it. Then you get a DD7 or DD8 now for probably around that price also. Most of the delays that I've got, I think nearly all of them are Greek ones at the moment. So I got the Chile, I've got another Crazy Tube Circuits one. I got a French one called the Jux, which is awesome as well. That's a really great sort of tape delay. Another one I was using a lot was from CTEC. They make one called the Serena delay pedal. It's a blue one. I actually got the t-shirt. It's great. That thing sounds unreal. It's a digital delay, but it's got a dark sound about it. Did you ask about analog or any delay pedal? You know, I would almost say go for the Boss, because you get a mix of analog, voiced, and digital delay, and then you can find what you like better. It's always good to have that option. Because straight up tape delay isn't for everybody. I don't like a lot of warble on my delay. Just a little bit's okay, but not too much. Whereas some of my friends will like a lot more of that sort of chorusy sound in there. And it can sound great, but it's just not for me. So yeah, you've just got to kind of pick. I would say, yeah, go for the Boss, because they've stood the test of time and they're reliable, and there ain't nothing wrong with them. I've used them for gigs for years. Let me scroll up. Hey Shane, tell Brian that I have put a wicked T into the denim tally. It's similar to a twisted tally pickup. Very cool. Yeah, I haven't actually. I don't think I've tried the wicked T's, but yeah, Brian's the pickup king. He knows more about pickups than almost anybody. Him and Rick, man, they're like total pickup nerds. David, welcome, mate. Tom from Orlando, Florida. Thanks for the great live stream chat. Very informative. I have to go. Thanks, mate. Thanks for hanging out. We'll get on the super chat. I'll scroll back up in one sec. Do you enjoy listening to Delta blues, or do you prefer something more modern like Chicago blues? Mate, thank you for the super chats. That's like the third one. You don't have to do that, man. Thank you. Just add in the blues me and I'll see it hopefully. Yeah, there's a time, like, I used to listen to a lot of Delta blues stuff and more modern Delta blues, which I would consider like Buddy Guy and Junior Wells playing as a duo. That sort of stuff is great. I don't listen to like a lot of Robert Johnson or that sort of style thing, but I love whenever I don't listen to a lot of acoustic guitar soloists, but if it's blues and there's a couple people playing, I could listen to that all day. It's really cool. So, yeah, I'm more into electric blues than I am acoustic. I'm more into electric guitar than I am acoustic of any type, actually. But, yeah, if it's done well, it is awesome. So, absolutely. You know, some of my favorite Clapton stuff is acoustic. You know, not his Tears in Heaven stuff, but his, you know, look at Unplugged and you check out his blues in that. It's so good. That and the Robert Johnson's session he did with the guys, all that stuff is great. So, yeah, I'll listen to anything pretty much when it comes to blues. It just has to have the right mix of good vocal, more so than anything else. If there's a good vocal and a good vibe going on, then the guitar playing for me is just the icing on the cake when it comes to that stuff. Whereas the electric blues is kind of the opposite in a way. I still want to listen to a good singer, but as long as the guitar playing is great, then I'm happy, you know. So it's funny how it works. But thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Do we have Michael Bradley here? There we go. Hey, welcome, mate. Yeah, we've been talking about getting this bloody stream together at some point, man. And I've been so slack organising this, and yeah, Rick's timing's been a bit different too. So hang in there, mate. We'll get you on the channel coming up. So guys, if you don't know Mike Bradley, go check out his channel, hit subscribe. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. Hey mate, bought the artist tally based on your review. So much guitar for the price. Great channel, keep it up. Oh, and great, thanks, Matt from Brizzy. Thanks, Matt, I appreciate that, mate. Very cool. You know, I've had a lot of people asking me about those artist tallies the last few weeks. Maybe the last month, actually. Like, my emails, just... It's funny, I think... Yeah, it's like instead of... like, I'm like the middleman for a lot of these guys. It's crazy. I don't mind. I mean, it's fun. As long as people get what... I always try to say, this is what it's like, and if you like guitars like that, that's what you're going to get. So I'm glad you're digging it, mate. That's awesome. Hey, Amanda, welcome. Am I a fan of Rickenbackers? You know, I like one of my bass players, Jeff. He uses Rickenbacker bass guitars, and they're great. I'm yet to really see any of their electric guitars. Dr. 808, thank you, mate. Far out. Thanks for the content, man. It's super helpful. Hey, no problems. I try to just give you my opinion on stuff. Doesn't always sit well with everybody, but I try to justify why, you know, my opinions are based mostly on experience with stuff, and I always try to keep in mind who they're for, what something, or who something is for, I should say, as opposed to just saying, oh, it's crap, because that doesn't help anybody. There's always a target audience for stuff. So I appreciate that, mate. Thank you so much. What was the Shane? This is from Carl. He says you did a review a few years ago of the Kalen Analog Blue Ocean Delay. Very great pedal. I bought it. It's been on my pedal board ever since, and sounds fantastic. You know, I've still got one of those. That's how much I like that pedal. It's in my cupboard. So I'm in the process of going through. I don't say like all of my stuff, but I've got a cupboard that's 4 levels high. Embarrassingly, it's got microphones on the top level, which are all but 2 of them, I think, are the ones I've purchased, right? So this is like a 15-year thing. I've been not collecting mics. I've been buying microphones that I want for certain applications. Takes up pretty much the top row. The next 2 are full of pedals. So they're all going up for sale pretty soon. I'm working on a way I can offload those. So my old website is making a resurgence because it yeah, I'm keeping a lot of the stuff that I love and that I use, but time's come to stop. Maybe I'll use that one day. If I haven't used it in 3 months, it has to go now. That's the rule. But no, I'm glad you like the Kalen stuff. I always say they're one of the best inexpensive brands out there. All their stuff. Then they've gotten better over the years. Like their last iteration of pedals, they made one called the Ghost Rain, I think. The pedal's so good. You want a good, inexpensive delay pedal? Check out the Ghost Rain. I think that's what it's called. It's a white pedal with a little ghost on it. It looks kind of cartoony, but it kicks ass. Just going to turn the heater off. All right. Let me scroll down. Yeah, we'll get it sorted out, mate. Sorry, Mike Bradley. I'll shoot you a message tomorrow, and we'll try and slot it in. Hoping to see a new bunch of models from Artist Guitars in the next few months. They're just publishing the results of their survey. Ah, okay, very cool. I didn't know that. I remember seeing some sort of email that came through about some type of guitar thing, but I can't remember what it was. I'm gonna change this so I don't have to wreck my neck. Let's just do this. Come on, focus. There we go. I have a 94 Blues Deluxe and it has so much bass that I have it dialed in on 0. What could I do to balance out the EQ? Change the speaker. Those stock speakers are way too bassy and not in a good way. That would be my... I always change speakers in those amps. Mine's got a Swamp Thing and it makes a huge difference. Go to guitarspeakerguide.com and check out my posts there. Anyone who's looking at changing speakers, or if you don't know what speakers in your amp, I put a massive sheet together with all the specs for all the brands and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was a big job. But yeah, look, you could do that, or if you want to just do it the cheap way, or a less expensive way, get like a 5-band EQ, run it through the effects loop, and just pull the low end out. That would be another way to do it. But those stock speakers, man, I can't stand them. The Fender Eminence speakers from back then aren't very good. As soon as I bought that Blues Deluxe, I used it once with the stock speaker, and I pulled it straight out and put the Swamp Thing in. It was within 2 days, basically, I did that swap, and I've never looked back. Fabio from Brazil. Como está? No, that's Spanish. You speak Portuguese, right? Sorry. That's as close as it's going to get on the In the Blues channel. Hey Shane, recently bought an SX Strat because of one of your videos. Ordered a Candy Apple Red model. Very cool, but it ended up being a metallic red in person. Still looks and plays great though. Very cool. Yeah, those SX guitars, man, are great value. I used to always sort of scoff at those guitars. The only place I'd ever see them was in used guitar, like used second-hand shops like Cash Converters, which is just like a pawn shop. Because if I say it the way I say it, it sounds like a different kind of shop. So, I used to see them in Cash Converters all the time. They were always beat up and they looked like crap. And I just figured they were the worst guitars in the world because they were always like $69. Like you wouldn't pay more than that for them. They were missing saddles or something like that. And then I actually played a new one. I was like, these are really, really good. They're like classic vibes, and they cost $199 or whatever it was at the time I got mine. So, or $220 or something. They weren't much, but just super cool guitars. I played mine live a number of times. The only trade-off with those guitars, just the one small thing, they're easily dinged. If you buy sort of like I shouldn't say that. I've got a video coming up about my Tally. I killed it, which is why you haven't seen it for a while. Most of the time, less expensive, or the SX guitars ding a lot easier. It's sort of like the Affinity series ones. You knock it into something and it shows really quickly. But people pay good money for that these days. James says, could you please do a review of the Epiphone Flying V that they recently did? Do they have a lefty? If not, I'll see if I can rope Dr. Rick into some more videos. I can get all that stuff. Epiphone, Gibsons, I can get all of that on loan anyway. So just to let you know, there's no incentive for me to do it. This is all loan stuff. So yeah, I'm more than happy to check them out. Oh, sorry, the chat just scrolled and I missed a whole lot of stuff. Let me go back up and then I'll plow through a few more questions here. Nino says, could you please do an in-depth review of the Eric Clapton Stratocaster and compare it to the Squire Classic Vibe 50s Strat? You know, those Eric Clapton Strats are nearly impossible to find. I don't think they're current stock anymore. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen one of those. No, I have. I saw one at Billy Hyde's local music shop. That's the only shop I've seen one of those in. So that'd be a tough video to do because I don't borrow stuff from them. And I'm a lefty. But yeah, look, I'd love to do that. But yeah, I don't know if I can, unfortunately. The 50 Strat is a great guitar for the price. And they're at two different ends of the price spectrum too. So yeah. If you could only have one telly, what would you go to pick up telly combo B? I would say I'd probably stay with the Joe Bardens. I think they're really cool. The Danny Gatton pickups. My other telly, which is getting fixed, has great single coil pickups in there. The thing is so good. Or it was. But yeah, look, the Joe Bardens are pretty hard to beat. They really are. They've got all the tone you could want. Zach says, love your channel and all the content. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Funny question. If you're on a desert island and you're going to pick one guitar, which would it be? Strat Telly or Les Paul? Yeah, I'll probably take my 52 reissue, I would say. Look, it depends on the day. It could also go either way depending on my mood. But my 52 reissue, which is sitting in that cupboard over there, that'd be a hard guitar to abandon. Because it's stood the test of time. If a guitar stands the test of time, it's worth taking if it's your only choice. Jay says he bought it. He sold a Blues Deluxe and bought a Princeton Reverb clone. It has a 12-inch speaker. It actually has a lot of headroom with the Strat. It doesn't start breaking up until about 8. That's really cool. That's good. I think it also depends on your picking attack as well and how quickly amps break up. I find like Dr. Rick is a great example of being able to make any amp overdrive just because he hits so hard. Whereas I have to work a lot harder to get it to do that. So, yeah, that's cool. It sounds like a good amp. Have I ever changed the speaker in the Fender Mustang? I have. I had a Texas Heat in my Mustang 3 version 2. And that was a really great speaker for that amp. But now, because of the Class D thing, they're all 4 ohms. So to find a good 4 ohm speaker isn't easy. Or it's not as easy as finding a really accessible 8 ohm one. I almost feel like now, with the 4 ohm thing, you buy it just based on how it is. 4 ohm speakers are a lot harder to find. They just don't have the range. In terms of like accessibility, a lot of speaker manufacturers don't make too many of them. Could I review some Sigma acoustics? You know, one of the guitars I want to buy is a Sigma. They make really great lefty acoustics. So if I end up doing that at some point, absolutely. I miss Cash Converters. Hey, did I see CGS in here? Hey, how are you, man? Sorry, I didn't see your... I scrolled up and there it is. Cool. Welcome, mate. Every cupboard gets overcrowded, costs me money. Yeah, well, mate, it's good that this stuff goes to a good home. Let's just put it that way. So, yeah, I'll take a... this is a good question, actually. David Munoz says, did the Vola end your search for a Strat? In some ways it has. Like, it's the best lefty Strat I've played. I really love it. And maybe not the best of all time that I've played, but compared to the ones I've owned, this is the best. Like, it's better than the 50s deluxe deluxe Strat that I had, which was the 2005 American Deluxe, the 50th anniversary one. It's the same quality build wise. Like, the neck is better on this, but the finish on the body's the same. I gotta tell you, I'm loving the humbucker in the bridge. But has it ended my search? Probably not. I still want a traditional Strat, but I think I want one less, far less than I did. This is really good, man. I love this thing. And the fact that it's got, like, yeah, if I had to build a Strat, it wouldn't be too dissimilar to this. Visually, and also, like, all the stuff that this... I mean, look, some people can't handle the different shape. I actually quite like it, and I forgot about it after about 3 seconds of playing it, but it's got all the stuff I like. It's got big enough frets, big fat neck, the pickups are great. The only other thing it doesn't have is noise cancelling in between positions, which was interesting. Because having a real humbucker instead of like a rail one, I much prefer that. I think the humbucker in this totally rocks. I get to try hopefully one of their tallies as well, which I'm looking forward to. I just paid off all my cards and haven't bought anything in months. Good. Very good. Yeah, credit cards, man. They're the evil. They're the evil. You know, I used to not think twice about putting money on a credit card or buying something on a credit card. Now I won't do it. Unless I've got no choice. Because if anytime I buy something on a... I haven't used my credit card in like 6... Maybe longer. Maybe one purchase here and there. But as soon as I get home, I pay it off. It's a bad trap, man. It's so easy. Oh. I think I'm out of tune. Let me just quickly give this a... I had the heater on in here for like the last hour, so... I think that's in tune. So that's that bridge pickup. Let me fix this camera here. Oh, here we go. So they're pretty balanced. Yeah, it is cool. It's super cool. So yeah, if you like guitars, I think now the neck's not quite as large as this, but the newest versions have a thinner neck. So I'm glad I got one of the old ones, because yeah, if it had a thinner neck, I wouldn't like it anywhere near as much because of just what I'm used to playing, you know. Let me scroll down. Far out. Cash converters in Strat. Yeah, I think we copied the English with a lot of stuff here that unbeknownst to us. Yeah, we're getting all those other clothing franchises from there too now. The TK Maxx ones and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're probably just as dodgy overseas as they are here. Mike Bradley, thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. I'll shoot you a message soon. Thanks again. Yeah, Selection Creamback in a Blues Deluxe is really good. You may find it's still too bassy, so just be cautious of that. My friend Brian had one, and he had a Creamback in his, and he loved it, but he had to have the bass pretty much off. I think it was on like 2 or something from memory. And he liked a sort of fat round tone, so if you're trying to get a chimey sound, I probably wouldn't put a Creamback in there. As great a speakers as they are, the Blues Deluxes are pretty inherently bassy. What string gauge do I use? You know, funnily enough, I bought a 10-pack of 11s recently. I put it on. What guitar did I put it on? I put 11s on my Tally, I think it was. I hated it. I hadn't played 11s for a while, so I'm playing 10s non-stop now. That's it. 10s on all of them. I've gone backwards. I don't feel there's enough of a. There's no tonal trade-off. It's just a feel thing. I used to love 11s, the resistance of them. But I just don't anymore. I don't just prefer... I felt like I was getting sore in here playing 11s after about half an hour. And I haven't felt any pain in my arm playing guitar like almost ever. I did have some issues with my arm once, but yeah, 10s doesn't ever hurt my arm, whereas 11s did. So I just stopped, gave the rest of the 9 packs or 10 packs to Rick, and just got some got some 10s, I should say. Gave the 11s to Rick, kept the 10s. Tips on the 30-year-old Blues Junior tone. Not sure what you're asking, man. Sorry, I don't know. Love shooting these tough questions when you have to choose. On a Strat, if you could only use one pickup position for everything, what would it be? On a Strat, I'd take neck pickup. Yeah, no questions about it. I like the other positions for rhythmic stuff, especially the in-betweens. I like bridge too, but neck on a Strat, I could play all day. Oh, that's all right. It's a cheap mic. It's on a boom arm, so it's really loose. It's actually like, yeah, I don't know. Hey, there you go. James says his dad bought a Dan Electro for 200 quid in a cash converters. A really nice guitar from Cork in Ireland. Very cool. I bought plenty of stuff from them over the years. Like, I was only having a joke before. I must have bought probably 6 or 7 guitars from them. Epiphones, Gibsons, Fender guitars. What else have I bought from them? Tokais. Nearly all the pedals I reviewed for about 3 years I was buying from cash converters. I'd go in there, I'd buy... They had great deals. I'd be getting like... They didn't know, like $300 boutique pedals for $60. I was like, done. And then I'd review it and flip it. So, yeah. Have I ever used metal picks? I haven't, no. No, just the nylon ones from Jim Dunlop, the black ones, and also the chicken picks. Still using them. I gotta buy some. I actually want... It's funny, I feel like I should buy some more. I've had these for like, I don't know, 4 years or something, and they're still going strong, so I've still got all of them. And then my friend Brian went back to the picks he used to use, and he gave me a couple, so I've got more than enough chicken picks here to last probably till I croak it. There's just, what is that, 5 picks. That'll last. I don't lose them because they're worth nearly $10 each. They don't wear out. I've used them to screw in things before as well because they're quite good. Greg says, I find with 1152s I control my bends way easier and I can hold more sustain in the note. Yeah, you could be right. Like, I felt like the resistance on the bends wasn't that dissimilar. Oh, it was harder on the 11s, but I went from only playing 11s for a long time to playing 10s, and I felt 10s gave me a bit more dexterity. It was a little easier. Not at the sacrifice of tone so much, but yeah, I really feel like the 10s is a good sort of happy medium for me where I can still get some resistance out of the string bends, but It is that little bit easier, but I don't feel any pressure on my forearm. I don't want to get tendonitis. Greetings from Georgetown, is that Ontario? Sorry. Now sitting on the fence with a Fender Mustang GTX, still enjoying it. Yeah, I love it. I was just playing it before, like 2 seconds ago. It's great directly into the sound card, which is blowing my mind. It is really, really good. What was the question? Sorry. Also with the Line 6 Podgo, has the Helix engine. Do you think the next Spiders will also have the same thing? You know, I don't really know too much about the Line 6 Spider stuff. I think they're more geared towards metal players, usually. If that's what you're into, you'll probably like that way more than the Fender. The Fender's for people who like basically Fender tones and classic rock tones. That's what it does best. The high gain sounds, it's not that great at. You're going to go high gain, I would say buy a Katana. If you like the Fender tones, the Mustang's the way to go. So, yeah, in terms of the Line 6 stuff, I haven't used any generation of the Spiders because I always hear them as a metal amp. Maybe I should give them a go. I'm not saying they're not great or good. I personally haven't used them. I know a lot of people sort of make sort of jokes about some of the old Spider amps, but they're aimed at people who want a particular sound, who might be getting into playing guitar. So for that, they'll be fine. Probably choose the neck pickup. Telly neck pickup's a bit muddy. Bridge sounds nice. Yeah, Telly's great. In the blues, what you can do is buy a pack of metal picks and do a review on them and shoot them out to the picks you usually use. Yeah, I might have a look into it. I don't know. I just feel like metal pick would be kind of weird. Like, I don't know if it would cut the string or what, but it just sounds interesting. I'll have to check them out. My name is Mike. Thanks for that, mate. Where do I buy left-handed guitar strings? The same place I get my lefty picks. I'll take a few more questions, then I'm going to crash. It's almost been 2 hours. Told him, like, summer's here, humidity might get him. Oh, yeah, I forgot it's getting warm over there now. I always think of Canada as, like, just snow. Every day of every year. Actually, there's a couple of YouTube channels I watch from Canada that, like, do vlogs. He's in... he's in... What city is he in? Toronto. Yeah, and it looks cool. Looks really nice, actually, this time of year. Originally got a V, scared. The chat just scrolled. Hang on, sorry. What's the question? Originally got a V, scared of banging it around too much. Do you get extra self-conscious when using a V? Happy birthday, by the way, mate, for the other day. That's very cool. I saw that. Do I get extra self-conscious? Yeah, a little. I did originally, because it protrudes way further out than I'm used to. The neck side is fine. I love the fact you can just stand it up on the floor without having to, like, use a stand. You just rest it against your amp and it's never going to fall. So I love that. But yeah, I had to be very cautious of who I was standing next to because it sticks out quite a ways off to one side. So yes, I only really play that guitar now standing. You probably noticed it hasn't appeared in too many videos other than when I'm playing at the start. It's just because it's a much better guitar to play standing. It really is. Is Rick an actual doctor? He is, absolutely. I hope so. He did my back surgery. Thanks, Zach. Thanks for hanging out, man. Take it easy. Bukovac uses a micro cube. Yeah, I mean, they're great little practice amps. I mean, it all comes down to the playing and what suits your situation, really. I mean, a guy like that can make, when you're a pro, make anything sound great. It comes down to what's coming out of the amp. fat, I think he would laugh his ass off at that, being that his wife's a professor and he's a medical doctor. But anyway, if you like conspiracies, go for it. Have I ever tried drilling holes into pigs to give them better grip? No, I haven't. Who comes up with this stuff? That's hilarious. No, I've never heard that in my life. That's funny. You know, that's, I think, in a way, like, I get it. I get how that can probably work, but one of the things I used to love about the nylon, the Jim Dunlop 1mm nylons, is the fact they had like a corrugated feel to them. Is that the right word? Like it was spiky. And that had grip on it. A lot of the plastic picks don't. They have, like, they're just smooth. So I get that. But the chicken pick has enough of a texture on the back. It's probably hard to see, but there's a, yeah, it's overexposed. But hang on. Let's see if this works. Is it going to let me focus? See how it says 2.6mm on the back? If it's getting blown out from the, like, it's grippy as well. So, and I hold my pick on the side, right? So I never use this point. Sorry, I never use this point. I always use the round side of the picks, which gives me a bit more sort of grip anyway. So, yeah, I don't really, I've never heard of that before. That made me laugh. That's great. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the comment. I've never seen that come up before. So, that's cool. Didn't Bill Gibbons use a Mexican peso as a pick? He probably did. You could be right. You know, I've used 5-cent coins here when I needed to, or 10-cent coins. If I lose my pick, I'm like feeling around my pockets. I got a coin. It works. It doesn't feel that great, but it works. Let me just scroll down. Do I know anything about Kane guitars with a K? I took a chance on a Les Paul style one from Cash Converters in London. Assumed they were a budget brand, but only info seems to point coming them from Australia. Okay, no. Kane guitars. Let me have a look. There used to be a few brands that were sort of like located here, but the guitars were made overseas. It could be one of those situations. Let me have a look. There's a few on Gumtree. Let's have a look. You know, once I get my other setup sorted in the next few weeks, I'll be able to share the screen a lot easier. Yeah, I haven't seen these before, mate. So, yeah, I'm not too sure. So, yeah. Hopefully it's a good guitar. That's super cool. I appreciate everyone hanging out. This is great. I've very rarely got close to 200 people hanging out. So it's been ages since we've done a live stream. So, yeah, thanks again, everybody. Could I please review the Squire Classic Vibe 60s Jazzmaster? Look, if there's one that I can find and borrow, I will. The way it works is I'm sort of at the mercy of... I don't really contact companies that much, so it's what offers I get and whatever I can borrow from local music shops. That's pretty much how it works. Or from Sky Music anyway. I don't really borrow stuff from anywhere else. So if they've got lefties in that I haven't done before, I'm actually going to re-review a few that I've been thinking about for a while. And there's a lefty that I'm interested in actually getting and actually seeing if it's any good. There's a new lefty classic vibe that came out with a humbucker in the bridge that might be kind of fun. So it's a Strat. Stop on names. Thanks, man. Take it easy. Maybe burger next week. Absolutely. Sounds good. Let's do it. Just finished my degree, looking for a gift for me. Congrats, that's awesome. That's from Zavi, I think. Any guitar for 1,000 euros. Man, that will get you a lot of great guitars. So, you know, I always say to people, try to find, if this is going to be your first guitar, buy something that one of your guitar heroes plays. Buy along those lines. That's the way I would do it. You know, when I first started playing and I heard, you know, Mark Knopfler and Eric Clapton, and I started getting into the sound of that. They were both playing Strats at that time, well, the stuff I was listening to. So it made it easy for me to go, I'll just get one of those. So find the sound that you like, whether that's like a Les Paul style thing or a 335, or for €1,000 you can get a lot of great guitars for that price. But it's a personal choice thing. You got to pick the one that you really like. Mr. Hunter says time to get some sun. Bye from Sweden. Have a good day. Hope you're well. Sweden is a beautiful part of the world, man. I love that place. Shane, I really need to win a pedal or a guitar giveaway. Hit me up. We're going to do a giveaway coming up pretty soon. It's been ages. I've been wanting to do one. I just keep forgetting, or I can't find an idea for a giveaway that's going to work. I'm going to go the old school way. So on the next giveaway, which is going to be brutal, I'm going to ask everyone to post on a video. I'm going to print out all the names, and then I'm going to put them in a big bag and just pick one out. That's going to be the next giveaway. That seems to be the easiest way for me to do a giveaway without just keeping it fair. It's the easiest way without having to like rearrange posters and people picking stuff, because it just doesn't make sense. I'm going to do an old school giveaway and one that works. So I'm tipping in the next 3 or 4 weeks we'll have some stuff that we'll be able to just give away. That's the plan. Hey, we got Peter Gregg here. Hello from Miami, Florida. Love the Greek pedal video. What a sound. Live stream looks great. Thanks, Peter. So Peter's the influence for me to upping my stream quality. I finally got my internet hooked up, the good internet, so I'm finally got an internet connection where I can stream. Anyone who's into camera gear, go check out his channel. He's got a great live stream channel as well. His live streams are the best quality on YouTube. Hands down. It's the best. So I'm using my GH5 tonight. Manual focus. I'm not going to be doing the walk around the Christmas room here, man. I'll tell you what. We're just about to wrap this up too, because it's getting kind of late here. But thanks for dropping in, mate. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll catch you on a live stream the next few days. You were hinting at Layla the other day. So that last intro track was a similar chord progression to that. I can't play covers because I don't want to get stung, but that new backing track was heavily inspired by that chord progression in a different key. So guys, if you're into cameras, go check out Peter Gregg. He's a great guy. Giveaway a left-handed player Telecaster. I could use one. Yeah, man. I don't know. It'll be a pedal, because the problem is you get something huge, and when 80% of your audience is overseas, you got to ship a guitar. It costs you $500. It's no fun, right? So I got to make it kind of cost-effective as well. And the way that I can do that is just find a good quality pedal and offload it. So that's what it'll be. The Rob Zombie poster is new. Yeah, we got some new posters. I'll get out of the way here. Let's. Is that gonna? There we go. So we got Cobra. Where is it? Here. Sorry, I'm about a second and a half behind my monitor. Yeah, so we've got Cobra. That's new. We've got John Lee Hooker over here. Eric Gales. Buddy Guy is now up there. And Rob Zombie. I like that poster enough to get it done. It looked cool. Sort of the two-tone thing or three-tone thing looks good. It's blue, black, and white. Yeah. I love Rob Zombie stuff. I've had him on in the car again lately. It's sort of timeless. It's one of the few types of music to me that's kind of like... oops. Hang on. Let me just get this right. It's kind of like funky metal. I don't know. It's just the only stuff I'm really enjoying like that at the moment. It's great. No, it's more my throat gets sort of fried after 2 hours of talking. It's not that it's late. It's just that, you end up... I think as the night goes on... I know Peter Gregg, man, he'll stream till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. He's the stream king, but I can't do it. I end up losing my voice. You coming to the States anytime soon? I was supposed to be back from the States yesterday. So, yesterday or today? Yeah, it was really somewhere around now. I had a trip booked that was cancelled, unfortunately, so maybe next year. We'll see how we go. Let's see what happens with travel restrictions and all that kind of stuff. I have no problems with a local-only guitar giveaway. Yeah, look, yeah. Pedals is the easiest way to do it. I'll get a good one hooked up and we'll do that. Sorry if I missed something here. Yeah, Metalhead, just shoot me an email, man. That's intheblues@outlook.com. I'll send you something that you can play. I have a couple of really cool like live clips that are fairly recent on the channel. You're welcome to use those from like this year or last year. But any of the older ones, they're not good enough. So yeah, don't share those. All right, it is 2 hours in 4 minutes time. So all right, we'll stick around till the 2 hour mark. No one in Australia is going overseas until next year. Yeah, well, that sounds about right. I wouldn't be surprised. They've probably got us locked down. Yeah, hopefully we can all get, if there's a vaccination shot or some sort of preventative thing for it, then that will definitely help, right? And I think they're pretty close to sorting something like that out from what I heard, but who knows? Yeah, I'm in no rush now to go. Well, the last thing I want to do right now is get on a plane with hundreds of people I don't know and get sick. Like, even if I was just to do that and get the flu, like, it would suck enough. So I just don't want to risk it until it's safe enough to go. And at least until you feel comfortable doing it. Like, I remember booking the ticket right on the cusp of hearing about it. I went, oh no. And I had a feeling like instantly the trip wouldn't go ahead. It was the first time I never booked my hotel ahead of time. Like any of them. I didn't book any of them. I just thought, no, I'm not going to book anything until I get there. I'm not even going to book the hotel near the airport the night before because I have a bad feeling I'm not going to go. And I still bought insurance and all that stuff. I finally got some refund back. So I got my 6-week car rental back and my half of my insurance, which sucks because I didn't even use it, but that was better than nothing. So yeah, look, that'll just be put aside until whenever I can go. I had the best plans for this half of the year. This trip was going to be 6 months of stuff that was going to change the direction of the channel for a while and just to have some fun. It was still going to be the regular stuff going up, but I had planned to do lots of really unique videos and really cool places. And it was a huge downer. But it'll happen. It'll happen at some point. It is what it is. So instead, I just got a cat. I'll see if I can get him. Yeah. Is Gus here? No. No, he must be in the other room. He was hanging out. He was hanging out in the other room before. He was sleeping. Get a certificate for medicinal oxygen. Yeah, I'll see how we go. All right. How's Gus doing? He's doing well. He's settled in pretty well. He's a dude. He's an interesting sort of cat. He's really friendly in the evenings, and in the daytime he likes to play or he likes to just sort of hang out on his own. He's an interesting character. He's got it's funny because I had a house inspection here recently, just like a rental thing. And she came in and he ran straight up to her. I was like, wow, this is interesting because he used to just run anytime anyone would show up, but now he's starting to just hang out. So I think he's pretty settled. He's a dude. He's an absolute dude. Show us your bass skills. All right, let's do it. Now, I don't know if skills is the right word, but we'll have a jam. I'm just going into the Mustang back here. This may kill the audio quality. I'm not too sure how we'll go with this, but we'll try. This thing sounds so good. Ooh, got some delay. There we go. How does that sound? Does that sound alright? Hopefully it's not distorting or anything. So yeah, this was a bass. I haven't done a video on this or anything, but yeah, it's kind of like a jazz bass, basically. It's the same kind of weight. It looks very similar to a jazz bass. It has a really bright sound, which I dig. It's got reverb too. So you really get like a really stringy sort of bass sound. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan of sort of like walking bass is my sort of thing. Gives you lots of freedom on the bass. Like that's pretty much your typical run. That was shocking. Last time I played bass, I was playing upside down. Like the bass was a right-handed one of them. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's fun. I just like playing bass it's easier, obviously, with a groove going on, but yeah, it sounds pretty cool. I'm a big fan of the jazz bass. You know, I used to think I liked P-bass sounds a lot more, but I don't. I think they're just way too muddy. There's a certain clarity about a jazz bass that just really sounds great, except for when I'm playing them. I want 3D glasses, the bass headstock's in the camera. Yeah, that's that sort of semi-wide angle lens. I got a 15mm Leica. Yeah, I can reach it. It's way closer than it looks. Yeah, these basses are really great. You know, I've got an Ibanez sound gear, which I really love the feel of it. It's nice and light. My only criticism of that is it's really heavy. It's uncomfortable to play for more than about 25 minutes for me. I find like it's like, oh man, if you're sitting down, it's going to be fine. I use it on all of my backing tracks that you've heard in about the last 4 months. So, We Demand Gus. Yeah, look, I'll have to. It would take me too long to get out there and get him in, and I don't want to wake him up. So, it's killer bass, bro. I like the sound. Too bad it's a bass. What does that even mean? All right, we're going to wrap it up. It's 12:04, so it's the next day. Happy new day, everybody. Happy Friday. Is it Friday? It is Friday now, officially. It is Friday. Yeah, I was supposed to be coming home tonight. Hang on. Delta Airlines flight to Atlanta. Oh, so there you go. Yay, I wasn't supposed to be home today. I was supposed to be on a flight from somewhere to somewhere. So I must be coming back. Anyway, it is what it is. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. We had a big live stream tonight. It's crazy. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Izio, thanks for the super chats. Guitar Journey, Dave, Al as well. Thank you so much, mate. Jamal, again, thank you. Mark Tanner, Guitar Journey again, Dr. 808, everybody in the chat who asked questions, and hopefully I got to respond to your question. If I didn't do it on purpose. The chat shows me only selected chat sometimes. It doesn't always show me everybody's chat. I don't know why it does that, but VS Audio, rock on. Amanda, Jamal, everybody, take care. Sonia, thank you. Yeah, lots of new names in here too. So yeah, welcome if you're new to the channel. Oh, I was going to show you. I got this coming up. I put a link to it in the video description if you want to check it out. But I did this on the last live stream. I was like, hey, yeah, I got something to show you, and I never did. So I got these. This is just on loan. I've heard mixed things about these. So this wasn't from Roland or anything. I won't be getting any more stuff from them, I've decided. So yeah, I thought what we'd do is give these a go. Now, a friend of mine who owns a shop lent me these. So I'm keen to see whether or not they're as good as what everyone's saying they are. I know there's a few inherent problems with them, like the gyroscope's not great. So for those who don't know what this is, from what I understand, it's like a three-dimensional soundscape. You put them on, it's like having an amp in the room. When you turn left, you hear the amp more out of your left ear, and you can turn right, it goes the other way. So this will be coming up. I've got to just find a really good way to record it, if I can record them somehow. So I have a plan to use a stereo microphone for it, if all being well. So anyway, guys, take care. Thank you. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks again. And Metalhead, if you're still here, man, just shoot me a message and I'll shoot you that link or whatever. You're welcome to use whatever you like. All right, rock on. Catch you soon. Have a good night. Have a good day. See you in the next one. See ya.